Okay, out with my mate Ali, who's doing the filming. Been a busy morning with work and driving duties, so by the time I arrived, last of the sun, and wind speed averaging around about 20 knots, sometimes picking up, sometimes not too bad, dropping down to maybe 18. Key thing, always check the airspace, and you'll notice the wingtips keep collapsing. I mean, this is pretty turbulent here, all things considered. Anybody that thinks that flying at the sea means you're always flying in smooth air is off the rocker. Points to note are look for the wing warp. So when you lean, weight shift is a very bad term to use, and it's really not what's happening. When you're leaning in the harness, you're actually distorting the wing shape to produce cross flows. Wing side slips, side slip induces roll and yaw. Different amounts. Just the tiniest of touches of brake, often just dabbed on, dabbed off. Most of the control, 95% of the wing control, is through the harness. Other things, well, it's not always too clear from this, is always looking around, clearing the turns. Every time you launch, nice loud calls, launching. It doesn't really matter when you're on your own here, but if you get into the habit of not doing those checks, not doing those calls, someday it's going to matter. So in the turn there, you can see the noticeable kink and the reversal. Lean hard left, coming along, check the turn, skim over the sand, leaning right, and then climb. Sometimes as you start getting up into both the windier area in general, because you're higher, and where there's more horizontal wind, rotating the pilot upright in the harness to increase the drag on the pilot will increase your airspeed. So it gives you a certain amount of direct control of the pitch, leaning hard, touch down, keep the load on the wing, just waiting, easing up. Wing do the work, don't fight it. Just gentle, slow tiptoes, not disturbing the wing. Very smooth rotation there of legs, just letting the glider fly you up. Checking turns, lean, wait, and a wee dab of brake if necessary. Most of the time you can do the turns without any brake at all. It doesn't have to be a comp wing, even a DHV1 wing, some basic student wing. Really carve it around the sky, throw it round. All it is down to the correct timing. Get the glider into side slip will induce the roll and yaw. And nice wee ski along the sand. Strides. Note the big use of harness there. A wee dab of brake, but mainly turning in the harness to control the glider. Rotating, touch down, keep the load even, not fighting it, just tiptoeing. Remember, anytime you're going back, you want to be glancing around, check where you're going. Bringing the wing back into the lift area where the wind's vectored up by the seawall. folding in and then coming out again. And rotating, touch down, flick round, long strides, tiny bit of right brake added, but mainly rolling the glider level. And each of these takeoffs call launching, keep in practice. Flicking round, pressing with the arms to stay crossed, and then a nice slow rotation back. Don't want to be swinging round and disturbing the glider. And just tiptoe. Just a single fingertip on the controls. Use of the harness. Again, very delicate touch to the ground, keeping the loading even. Push forward, and you can gain a wee bit and then lift. Wee bits of side slip. Tiny touches of brake to affect the thrust. Leaning, setting up for the turn, touch down, and then walk back and use the wing to jump up over the wall. Coming up the ramp. Down and ease, flick around, changes the airspeed of the glider because it effectively pulls in the tips and out into the front again. Staying upright, increase the drag, more drag on the pilot, pitches the wing down, gives you more airspeed. And checking the turns. Again, you can see almost all the controls done with the harness. When you want to go back and just into lift in, just easing on a wee bit. Slowing down the airspeed, cuts back, check, clear the vehicles, back onto the grass area. Now you can see the rotored area, which is actually quite easy to launch from as well, but lots of changes in lift and sink, and of course the tips flipping in and out. But without over braking it, using the harness for 90% of the control, just wee dabs on the brakes, easy to keep it out. Going forward, despite the wind speed there being about 18 to 20 knots, and back out to the lift. Consider the seawall is about 8-9 foot high. Best height I've probably been getting there is about 50 feet. Cut round back downwind. And into landing. Touchdown, flick around, wait, and just when ready, eventually go for the safety riser drop. Taking the time, just recovering the tips of the harness, easing on the safeties in a second, and down, drops the wing as a stand up. Piece of cake.